So are bankruptcies from Eastman Kodak and American Airlines only the beginning? Our next guest says many more are to come, even as this recovery drags or even gets better, as creditors grow tired of just kicking this can down the road. Peter Kaufman is president of the Gordian Group and one of the nation's leading restructuring experts. And Peter, we should also mention that you are working for the Transit Workers Union in the American Airline case right now.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Nice to see you.
First of all, the premise that somehow our economy gets better, but bankruptcies go up. How does that work?
Well, in a funny sort of way, just like when the unemployment, when the economy's bad, people stop looking for work, unemployment rate goes down. But when people feel the economy's getting better, more people look for work, and the unemployment rate goes up. Similar kind of thing with the economy and bankruptcies. Things are starting to feel like they're limping along, maybe getting a little bit better. As that happens, creditors become less inclined to just sort of kick the can down the road, amend and extend, and let companies keep pushing out debt maturities and covenant defaults and start taking a little bit firmer stand. We're starting to see that now.
Even though companies may say, hey, listen, we're in a better position to kind of, do better if you guys give us more time.
The lenders are much more concerned with the lenders than they are with the fortunes of the company.
Let's talk about this American Airlines case.
Sure.
This is a huge case, obviously. A lot of people were sort of surprised. American Airlines, from the management's point of view, said, listen, we tried. We've been negotiating for not a decade, but close to it. I mean, they're like the last major airline to file for bankruptcy, and they're saying the primary reason was the inability of unions to make any real or smart concessions.
Yeah, that's really not the case. The Transport Workers Union, who we represent in this matter, has been a great partner to American Airlines. They've given billions in concessions over the last 8 years to try to avoid this day coming. They've been a great partner, and now American Airlines has trotted out a very old, tired, unimaginative playbook, which is we're going to cut costs, cut wages, cut jobs, cut pensions. And this is a microcosm of what's going on in America. The middle class is playing by the rules, and they're getting run over.
But when you do restructuring, isn't that what you typically ask companies to do? Or isn't this typical in bankruptcy to cut costs so that you can stay alive?
There's got to be an equitable sharing of the pain. And I think I'm going to be extremely surprised if the pain isn't going to be asked to be borne almost solely or primarily by the workers and by this union, who has been a great partner. And in addition, there's safety implications here, because American has said that they're now going to outsource a lot of the jobs that they're cutting from the union. And they haven't said where, but particularly if it's overseas, where a lot of other airlines do it, the security and maintenance is not nearly up to snuff.
I think that's a different issue, though. But listen, Americans saying we've lost $11 billion since 2001. It costs us $800 million more to fly these flights because of our unions. And overall, we've seen, and I know you're not here to defend all unions per se, but we have seen where unions, it felt like the hostess thing recently. The unions got a lot of people are saying they just were an immovable object. Yellow roadway, the airline industry, the auto industry, state and local governments. Do you think unions in general have to somehow, Peter, step up and say, we've got to give in more in this era of shared sacrifice?
Well, that's right. And I'm not here to defend all unions. A lot of unions have had very, sort of fat cat deals for unions. They get paid when they don't work, et cetera. That isn't American Airlines. American Airlines is trying to right its ship on the backs of the little guy, and it's wrong, because this union, the Transport Workers Union, has been more than pitching in. Again, billions of dollars over the last 8 years in concessions to try and help partner to right the ship. And now management, who took out hundreds of millions of dollars in bonuses before they filed with $4 billion in cash and $13 billion in credit to buy planes, is trying to do it on their backs.
And
this is what's going on.
And 15,000 people losing their jobs, and probably a lot more. This is definitely ugly, and this is something that I think America in general, not American Airlines, but America in general, we're going to have to grapple with this issue for a long time. And to your point, we're going to get more bankruptcies, not less. Thank you very much, Peter. And
nice
good luck with the arm. Was that part of the initiation?
Restructurings can be very difficult.
Okay. Peter Kaufman, the Gordian Group. Thanks.
They say business.